Welcome to Living in Tucson, your Tucson real estate connection, and hot off the press. Can you believe it? It's already January 2024 and the numbers are out for the Tucson housing market report for January 2024. I'm going to dive on into what's going on here in the Tucson housing market. Hello, my name's Tyler Ford, Tucson, Arizona with eXp Realty. And again, welcome to another episode of my Tucson Housing Market Report. And for those that have been watching my report each and every month, there's been a slight change. TAR, the Tucson Association of Realtors, has hooked up with a new vendor in terms of the data, in terms of the charts that's provided. So it's going to be a little bit different. There's a lot of good information, but you got to kind of dig to get the information to keep it consistent with what I've been providing in the past. But there's some things that they're not providing. The affordability index chart is no longer. And again, there's a handful of things that are different. So I'm going to try to make sense out of it and keep it consistent with what I've been doing in the past. So welcome to this episode, and let's dive on into what's going on here in the Tucson housing market. Before I cover the Tucson housing market numbers, I like to cover rates to give you an idea of what's going on with mortgage rates. And as everybody knows, over the last couple of years, the feds have been aggressively raising rates. And the good news is we're off the highs of about 7.5% in 2023, and we pulled back by almost a full percent. But the question is, in 2024, being an election year, what's going to happen with rates? My take on what's going to happen in rates this year, we're going to go sideways, maybe slightly down, but don't anticipate any big moves in the feds raising rates due to it being an election year. So right now on a 30-year fixed, we're sitting at 6.64%. And on a 15-year fixed, we're sitting at 5.9%. So again, a little bit of relief in terms of mortgage rates, down about a full percent. But reach out to me in terms of rates, because there's some creative things that you can do in terms of buy downs that you can get the seller to pay for to substantially lower the rate and also reduce your monthly mortgage payment. So the first number I want to talk about is what we call percentage of list. And that is when a seller lists a home in the MLS, what percentage of the list price is a seller getting? And one thing to take a note here is percentage of list doesn't take into consideration price reductions. So when somebody lists a home in the MLS, for whatever reason, if it's not moving, selling, or getting any activity, a lot of times they'll do a price reduction, and percentage of list is not based on a price reduction. So it would be extremely helpful if we had some type of statistic that let us know how many homes did a price reduction and what percent they did it by. But just to let you know, I still like to cover it because it does show a trend, and trends are your friend. So percentage of list for single family homes listed in the MLS for January 2024 was 98.36%. Meaning that if a seller lists a home correctly, prices it right, they're getting pretty close to the list price. So there's a little bit of negotiating going on between buyer and seller. So good news for buyers out there. Percentage of list is no longer 100% or more. And there is a little bit of flexibility in the price. And so as a result, if you're listing your home as a seller correctly, you're going to get pretty close to the list price. The next one I want to cover is what we call months supply of inventory. And that is, if no other homes were to hit the market today in the MLS, how long would it take for all the inventory to be sold off? Month supply of inventory. So for January 2024, month supply of inventory was 2.74 months, or right at about 82 days. So again, if no other properties were to hit the market today, everything would be sold in about 82 days. The next number I want to cover is what we call days on market, or DOM for short. And that is when somebody lists a home in the MLS, how long does it take from the time that you list until the time that it goes under contract? It's called days on market. And if you're a seller out there and your home is exceeding the days on market, it might mean that your home is overpriced. So you want to look at the comps and look at average dollar per square foot and days on market. If you're a buyer out there there, same applies. If you're looking at writing an offer on a home, take a look at the comps, look at average dollar per square foot, and also days on market. And if days on market is dramatically more than what the median is, you want to consider that in your offer and look at the comps, and it gives you some good negotiating power. So again, days on market, January 2024 for single family homes in the MLS was 25 days. For townhomes and condos, days on market was 17 days. And the reason days on market is a lot less for townhomes and condos is because it's all about supply and demand. There's less supply, there's quite a bit of demand, just because from an affordability standpoint, people are having to buy townhomes and condos to be able to qualify from a debt to income ratio. So the two markets are dramatically different just because of home affordability. So something to pay attention to. By now, you're probably wondering what's going on here in Tucson in terms of home values. So the median home sales price for single family homes for January 2024 was $373,000, up year over year 9.7%. For townhomes and condos, the median sales price was $275,000, up year over year 6.7%. So the big question is, what's going to happen in 2024? Being in an election year, my guess is we're going to be somewhat flat, maybe slightly positive, but back towards more of a normal appreciation, anywhere from about 4%, maybe 8% for this year. That's my take. And last year in 2023, we were somewhat flat. We finished a little over 2% from an appreciation rate in 2023, and it had everything to do with interest rates. So the two big things that are going to play into what goes on with home values is interest rates and inventory, supply and demand, which I'm going to cover next. The next I'm going to cover is my favorite number, and that is home inventory Economics 101, supply and demand. And this is a number that you want to pay attention to. In my opinion, it's the leading indicator. And the big reason as to why we've seen upward pressure on home prices is because since COVID, inventory levels have been super low, demand high, therefore it's been driving up prices. But things have changed a little bit. Inventory levels have started to move up slightly, but we're nowhere near where we need to be in order to be to an equilibrium of supply and demand. And or the big question is, and I get this all the time, are home prices going to pull back? And again, I used to be in the camp that we were going to see a big pullback. I no longer believe that. It has everything to do with inventory. And at this point, I just don't think inventory would go up enough in order to pull back home prices unless something significant were to happen. So for January 2024, the total active listings in the MLS was 1,706 units. Year over year, the good news is we're up 131 units compared to last year at this time. So to me, that's a good thing for buyers. There's more inventory out there, and there's more things to choose from, where in the past buyers didn't have a lot to choose from, and the quality of the inventory wasn't all that great. So to break it down, right now there are 1,385 single family homes listed in terms of active inventory. Townhomes and condos, 242, and then 79 is the other. That is mobile homes and manufactured homes. So again, inventory levels are slightly going up, but again, they're still relatively low, where it's going to make home values either go sideways or put slightly upward pressure on home prices. If you're one to want to geek out on the numbers, I would encourage you to head on over to Tucson Homes and Lots. And if you scroll down on the home page, you're going to see a button that says Tucson Monthly Market Update. If you click on that, up comes the blog post that I do each and every month. And then if you scroll towards the bottom here, you're going to see a banner that says Tucson Housing Market Report, the full report. If you click on that, up comes a PDF where you can dive into what's going on here and get some deeper numbers if you really want to dissect the market. But again, just head on over to Tucson Homes and Lots. Well, that's a wrap for my Tucson Housing Market Report, January 2024. And again, I'm getting used to the new reports. I've left some things out from the previous report, and the big one is the affordability index. Hopefully they bring that back. So I'll do my best to dig in and provide value and make the reports even better, hopefully on the new data that they're providing. But January 2024, things were pretty much, flat. Again, home inventory levels creeped up a little bit. Interest rates have pulled back, which is a good thing. But the big thing for 2024 is what's going to happen being an election year. It's going to be an interesting year. So we'll see what happens. But my big take for this year is I don't think we're going to see a huge spike in interest rates, which is good for both buyers and sellers. And because there's a lot of sellers out there that would sell, but they just don't want to get off their low rate of high 2s and high 3s, which has been, one of the big issues as to why there's been low inventory. It's just sellers are locked in on these low rates. So if rates were to come down a little bit, it's going to loosen up the inventory and take this market that we've been in that's been constipated over the last year and a half, just everything to do with inventory. So again, we'll see what happens in 2024, but my take is we're going to be slightly positive in terms of appreciation. So I'd love to get your thoughts as to what you think is going to go on with the housing market here in 2024. Hey, thanks for watching my Tucson Housing Market Report. If you got value out of it, do me a huge favor. Give me an internet high five by liking it. If you have any questions or comments, go ahead and comment below, but love your take in terms of what you think is going to happen in 2024. And for more awesome videos about living in Tucson, your Tucson Real Estate Connection, you can subscribe to the channel. And if you hit that bell button each and every time a video comes out, you're going to be notified. In the meantime, make it a great day.